Hello, villagers. Welcome to the Village Hour. I'm your host, Amy Young. Welcome to the show. And today we have Brother Virgil and Sister Shy Wilson. They are the ministers and overseers of Grace Beyond Bars. How are you all doing?
Hi, Sister Amy.
I'm doing good, doing excellent, thank you.
Good. Well, thank you for your time. We appreciate your interview, and we really want to learn more about Grace Beyond Bars. So just feel free to jump in and just tell us about the program and what it does.
Well, Grace Beyond Bars is a ministry that's under the umbrella of Building the Kingdom Community Church in Cedar Hill, Texas. The overseer pastor is Victor Jackson. Grace Beyond Bars, can't say I exactly know when it was to the ministry, but I know Brother Gregory White was the overseer of it before I came home from prison. He got out of prison about 2 or 3 years before I did, and he was the overseer of Grace Beyond Bars, which is a prison ministry. Before he passed away, when I got home, Greg passed away, and our pastor, Victor Jackson, asked me to pick it up and keep going with it.
Okay, so it's a prison ministry. So what do y'all do exactly?
Grace Beyond Bars, for the most part, we go into the prison and we are part of the prison's church services there. Okay. We take different guys back in with us and women who have been incarcerated, or we take people who have been impacted by incarceration in to give testimonies and to preach the word of God in hope that we can lead others to Christ and to just help them to know that we know where they are. That's why I like to take people in who've been to prison, who sat in those seats, who've worn white, and understand what it means to be incarcerated while trying to live a godly life. Mm-hmm. We also help those who come out. My wife, even before I got out, I'm going to let her speak on that. She helped a great deal of prisoners contact family members. She helped prisoners with welcome home baskets for necessities of things that they might not be able to have getting out of prison and not having any money. So she might want to speak on that. But Grace Beyond Bars, it does quite a bit to help prisoners inside and once they come home.
So were you a member of Grace Beyond Bars while you were incarcerated?
No, I wasn't. Actually, like I say, Gregory White was the overseer. Once I met Pastor Jackson, we kind of hit it off right off the bat, and I let him know then that I would be coming to Building the Kingdom Community Church. It was just God who opened the door, even though it got opened for me through the passing of my good friend, Gregory White. Mm-hmm. But God had showed me while I was in prison that I would. He called me to prison ministry. That is my calling.
But before Virgil came home, Sister Amy, I started a ministry called WWIH, and I know you're going to do an interview with Rachel Moss, who took that over.
Yes.
From home, which is Wives with Incarcerated Husbands, which is a ministry I started before coming to Building the Kingdom Community Church. Was for me to start a support group for wives who have husbands in prison. Okay. Going through being married to someone incarcerated almost 15 years, with the struggles of that, I thought, man, we need support. So, and it wasn't none out there. So I started a support group and had meetings in my apartment for wives who had husbands incarcerated. I invited Pastor Vic to come to my apartment to speak to the wives at a meeting that I was hosting at the apartments, and he was like, Shy, I see this as something really big. You got something here, And he said, you need to start having this at the church. He was like, you need to have it in a public place, like at the church or something. Yeah. And you can have it at the church. So I was like, really? And he was like, yeah. So that's when we moved it to having it at the church. And I started, me and Virgil had another ministry outside of the church, the Day of the Lord ministry, where we were doing newsletters. And we were sending newsletters all over the country to like 550 inmates in different prisons. And this was on our own outside of the local church. So that's how we got to know a lot of inmates and prison wives that were a part of things that we were doing outside of a local church. So when I started the wives group, we met a lot of wives who had husbands incarcerated that would come to the meetings. So when the husbands came home, the prison system would give them $50. How are you going to start your life after being gone 20 years on $50?
$50. Yeah, that's not fair.
So I would start doing the welcome home baskets with like a bath towel, washcloth, soap, toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant, lotion, baby powder, just all the necessities. So they wouldn't have to spend their first $50 on getting stuff to just clean themselves up with.
Right.
Razors and stuff like this. So we started doing that, and that need was so great. And all the wives would start pitching in. 1 month I would have, like, at the meeting, everybody bring a bath towel. Or at the meeting, everybody bring washcloths. So this month we're going to all bring bath soap. And that's how I started collecting stuff for that. Or in a newsletter, I would ask people if they wanted to donate. So we started doing that, and Virgil was telling me when he was in prison, he know God is calling him to prison ministry.
Yeah.
And Greg is my cousin, Gregory White. So Pastor Vic, it's so God orchestrated that, meeting Pastor Vic through Kairos, which is another prison ministry, and I introduced him to my cousin Greg, who was in prison. And just by Pastor Vic being so loving to the guys in white, he wrote him, and that was somebody he could connect with. Then Greg got out and came to BKCC and started up the prison ministry and Grace Beyond Bars. And we maybe went to prison twice.
Okay.
But not really got out there as far as, going into prison and doing the church services. And, and that's what when my husband kept saying, he called to go back in. And that's what we talked about before he came home. Prison ministry is not sitting in between four walls. When you come home, we have to get out there and do prison ministry.
Right.
You can't talk prison ministry. You got to do prison ministry.
Right.
So I said, when you come home, we got to do it. If we're going to do it, we got to go.
So how regularly do you all go into the prisons now?
We've been going at least once a month, sometimes twice a month, and then you might have a month where we've missed. But yes, we probably have, about 6, 7, 8 different prisons we done been back into.
Okay.
And 2 of those is prisons that I did time on.
Okay. Do you all still do the newsletter?
No, the newsletter was, we had to stop the newsletter. My wife was doing the newsletter at her job and under a different supervisor. And then she ended up getting a new supervisor who wasn't as lenient as far as using the facility to do the newsletter. And we hadn't been able to purchase or print a copier that could do the magnitude of newsletters that we were putting out. So we had to put that on hold.
Okay. So that would be if there was someone who wanted to donate a printer or something like that to you all, that's something y'all are still open to?
Yes, we would need a printer, like an office printer copier that can. My wife can talk about that more because she did it. I don't understand that kind of stuff, but I know it need to be a big printer copier, not something for your home, but a big one.
Okay, Village Hour, y'all hear that. So if there's anybody out there that's able or in a position to donate a printer, this would be an awesome ministry opportunity for you all to do that. So let me ask, in order to be a part of Grace Beyond Bars, do you have to be a member of BKCC, or is it open for others to come in and support the ministry? Absolutely.
We got guys and women who's not members of BKCC. Matter of fact, the vast majority of the people who go in with us to the prison is not members of BKCC. And if anyone wants to be a part of the Grace Beyond Bars, they can call me at 214-949-3769, and we'll welcome them in and give them all the information they need to be a part of this ministry.
Okay, awesome. Sister Shai, did you have something to add?
She was just saying that we like for the members to become TDCJ volunteers. We can give them all the information about doing that, but they can go into prison up to 4 times without being a volunteer as a guest.
Okay. So there's a process.
Yeah, TDCJ to volunteer. It's just going in and doing about a 3 or 4 hour class, and they basically just tell you the do's and the don'ts of the prison when you go in, and then unless something very out of the ordinary happens, they'll usually be approved.
Okay. And are there any ways, if someone wants to contribute, are there particular items? Sister Shy, I know you said that you all try to assist them with, bath towels and things like that when they come out. Are there particular things that people can donate, or, are you open to monetary donations? We trust God that He's going to be a blessing. So are there anything, is there any particular items that people can donate?
Right now, the main thing what we need, Sister Amy, is monetary gifts, because, it costs money to travel up and down that highway. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times my wife, we'll do fundraisers. We had a couple of fundraisers at the church where we sell fish dinners or different kind of dinners to raise money. But like I say, it costs money to travel up and down the highway and wear and tear on cars. So we finally got a van that someone volunteered to the church, or donated to the church, but it needed a little work on it. So we need money to put some tint on the glass, or tint on the windows on that. Just like I said, when we get ready to go, gas money to get us there and back.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you all. I appreciate your time. Are there any final words or closing words that either of you would like to have?
We just we thank you for this opportunity, and we pray that God puts it on anyone's heart to donate to this ministry. It's a very worthy cause, even to those who may not have been affected, loved ones or anyone in prison. You're affected some kind of way, because if we can go in prison and touch the heart of one person, that's one less person you have to worry about coming out being a menace to society.
Right. And I can attest that this ministry is effective and that you all are very passionate about this. That was one of the reasons that I wanted to have you on the show. So I thank you for your time. And if there's any one that reaches out to me, I will definitely forward them to you. In the meantime, Brother Virgil, give us that phone number one more time.
That's Virgil Wilson. That's 214-949-3769.
Okay. Well, thank you all. Have a good evening.
Okay. Thank you, Sister Amy.
Appreciate it, Sister Amy. You go in with us too one time.
Okay.
With them brothers in song.
Yes. Thank you.
Oh, my gosh. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Bye-bye.